Uh, I wanted to share this little discovery that I made. I watched this kung fu video where this dude was talking about high level of kung fu that you could actually basically move someone with your mind. And I was all like awed and shocked and mystified about it. At the beginning. And Musashi also says, he goes, there's a point where you can get yourself so intense that you can defeat 20 men just with your stare, with your gaze. It's like when they took out Che Guerrero, the soldiers didn't want to kill him because he had such a gaze that it reached into their soul, basically. I mean, I'm not agreeing with Che Guerrero now. I'm just using it as a reference. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a renowned person. And especially these days. You know what I'm saying? That's where a person who has good intentions joins the wrong cause. You know what I'm saying? My opinion. But anyway, stealing the chi. Look, I was sitting there one day, and it was like my mom was walking towards me, right? And I looked at her, and I made this maneuver. It was like in my mind, it was like I was gonna do it. And I moved towards her because I always do this shit. I would like people walk by, I go ooh or something, and then keep them on their toes. But I really had no intention of actually even making any contact, and it was almost like I barely moved, and she went flying. It was her own reaction that caused the response, but it was my intense gaze and the feigning as if I was gonna go exploding through. You know what I'm saying? And this can work on people, and this is how you can control someone else's actions. But I mean, you got to kind of connive a little bit or catch them off guard. Either you connive to catch them off guard, or an opportunity arises and you catch them off guard. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's all look. I mean, at least what I'm talking about is in the spirit of fun. You know what I'm saying? Playfulness or sparring, psychological sparring. You know what I'm saying? Basically, which there's no real damage done. It's just all simulation. Training for when it really does. When SHFT. Wait, SHTF. See, I'm half dyslexic there. Uh, but yeah, that's. I mean, so in a way, yes, you can control other people. I mean, a perfect example of that is watch a movie called Arlington Road. And I swear, man, I walk through life feeling like Arlington Road. Like they're gonna patsy me. They're gonna set some fucking false flag up. I'm gonna be walking my dog around the block, and all of a sudden helicopters and fucking FLETC units and fucking storm commanders with skull mask, JSOC, Blackwater niggas, CIA, Navy SEAL motherfuckers are gonna come and tackle me and take me out, and you'll never see me again. Or you'll see me in court, and I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, yeah, he did it. This is ISIS. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not. Siasa. I'm not the CIA. Well, at least not knowingly. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, a lot of people like this. This is the thing about in the art of war. One chapter is about the usage of spies, and I'm sure I recall this. It says some of the best spies do not realize that they're spies. So there's plausible deniability. There's no connection to an agency, but the agency just tails them and sets things up. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's the form of the useful idiot, or so, to that effect. There's another form of controlling others, but I mean these are all stealing someone else's energy production and using it for some other cause. You know what I'm saying? You can do this in a positive way, but most of the time it's negative. Like they false flag and now there's gun control like issues. And I mean these are all false. I mean, dude, it's about 97% of everything that's happened since 9/11 is a false flag. And even previous, like Timothy McVeigh was a fucking operative. And that wasn't even too far from where I'm at right now. And that movie Men Who Stare at Goats. The dude was a journalist in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's not far from here. And there's a branch of that fucking college down there here in Flint. And like I said, there's all kinds of Knights Templar and Mason. This is a Masonic Knights Templar Boule Center. At least as me being a outside observer of these things, it seems to me that they got their shit tagged up. I mean, I got it on film. So I mean, it's there. That's the problem when you set your plans in stone. Just go and fucking take a picture. Go to what are those called, engravings, where you put a piece of paper and rub the pencil over it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, motherfucker, proof. So, same thing there, man. It's like these guys have had this great work, this final revolution, this new world order, and they've presented it in such a way to where almost they try to make it feel like you want it. This is your game. This is your struggle. You know what I'm saying? And this is your desired response that you want. But no, it can't be my desired response if you motherfuckers have been planning this shit from way back. Albert Pike, dog, like 1800s and shit. See, here's another thing though. But once you understand how stealing the chi works, when someone tries to psych you and it doesn't work, it's like now they're in a bad position and their plans, you foiled their plans. You got to take their baits. You know what I'm saying? You got to take the feign as real. Or here's the other way: you're not feigning, but you want it to appear as something that is non-threatening. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it works two ways. Just things to be aware of. I mean, listen. As a brethren out here in the truther movement, it's like, listen, part of this is psychological self-defense. And if you got to look at these things, I mean, even though it's not totally essential to know, but it doesn't hurt to know these things. You know what I'm saying? It has you can learn from other people's experiences. You know what I'm saying? If you just hear them out and don't judge the matter before you hear it out and see it out. Because it's like you can only believe half of what you see. You know what I'm saying? And if you hear about it, well, you got to go see it. And then you got to make sure it is what it appears to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way all things are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I like to take a look from the bottom. I like to look up at the sky. I like to go get in a high place and look down at the ground. And then I like to find a place in between where I can just look straight and I can see the ground and the sky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the type of guy I am. I like to, it's perception. It's training the mind, the eye of the mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the occult third eye. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the eye of the mind. It just means like, think of a family member. You see their face, but you're not seeing them with your eye. So what is that? You know what I'm saying? It's the eye of the mind. You know what I'm saying? So all these things, you know what I'm saying? You want to affect that eye of the mind. If you want to steal the chi, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. I mean, that at least this is my ignorant, uneducated American version of my interpretation of what at least I get from it. Maybe there is more esoteric control mechanisms, but this is what I see about Kung Fu. It's just magicianry, okay? It's like this. It's being tricky. Like, you want to make the person duck when they should jump. And you want them to jump when they duck. And the way you do that is you trick them. Like, swordplay ain't just about trying to cut them. Actually, swordplay is this. You wait till they swing, you knock theirs out the way, then cut them. It's chess, not checkers, man. I mean, so it's magicianry-like. Because it's leg air domain, which means sleight of hand. And it's also point to the mountain, strike the grindstone. I always say this all the time because it's like it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? The reason these arts were so powerful back in the day is because they were so secretive and people were just everyone was illiterate. You know what I'm saying? So when these guys who studied sports science, they just studied rigorously sports science. So when you watch them, it appeared as if they had mystical power, but it was just, they were very they had good training methods, and they have secret documents and manuals and shit that certain monks hid. You know what I'm saying? Because there's all these regime changes, and every new regime wants to steal all the information and hoard it from the public. So sometimes you need these middlemen, like the dudes who had hid the Dead Sea Scrolls in the caves out in the Middle East. This is the same type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And if it was, it demystifies a lot of things. But yet, there still be mystic things that do remain. But those are things that, up to this point, man, I'm too amateur to even speak with any certainty about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you hear all kinds of crazy stories. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stories. I mean, and sometimes they're true, sometimes they're exaggerated, sometimes they're just made up for the parable, for the metaphor, the moral of the story. You know what I'm saying? And you just, you got to use your discernment, because I mean, King Arthur's Knights, in a way, the book, a romanticized version of a historical figure, but it was totally fictional. Hitler and them and Himmler took that shit to heart and treated it as if it was true. You know what I'm saying? Like the Holy Grail ain't never even mentioned in the Bible, but yet these guys were searching for it. So I mean, you can see the power psychologically of fairy tales that has on people. I mean, you hear the fairy tale, but you got to distinguish between what is what is just was too far-fetched. Most things that are far-fetched are, or it was a clever illusionist who pulled the wool over the uneducated, basically. And I'm not talking about college educated, because if you ain't street smarts, your college education gets you killed. You know what I'm saying? Or pimped or victimized. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, listen, those corporate psychopaths, sociopaths, I mean, look, they're worse than the dope dealers and the fucking gangsters in the street. Them motherfuckers will ruin your life. You know what I'm saying? A gangster in the street might just rob you or get over on you for a few dollars. Yeah, you can live with it getting over on me for a few dollars. But if these fucking corporate psychopaths blackball you, you know what I'm saying? Your whole life is destroyed. Now all you got is the streets. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't savvy at all, man, the streets will see you as foreign, and they will consider, they'll be like, that's the police. That's police. And everyone will act all sketched out. You'll get shot for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Basically. So that's point to the mountain, strike the grindstone. But sometimes it's strike the grindstone, then point to the mountain. You know what I'm saying?